All right, welcome back. We're gonna keep this channel alive. Sorry, I kind of stopped making videos for a while, but I want to rectify that and make some more videos. Apologize for the background music. I've got Brain FM running. I'm a subscriber to Brain FM. I kind of believe in it. It's a little bit too loud right now. But and you know what? I think I can pause it. Let me pause it. So yeah, Brain FM is something I've been subscribing to. It's pretty dirt cheap, and I do have when it says high neural effects, things like that. It is really designed for somebody like me, who kind of struggles with focus. That's what I'm gonna start the video with, and there's gonna be a bit of a rant here to start the video as there usually is. So if it's commenter, you can timestamp when the video actually starts. That's useful to the commenter. That'd be great. I am going to be going back and reading the book AI Engineering by Chip Huyen. This is another video in this series. We can see that I'm 49. I'm almost halfway through the book. And I will say this book has been, man, like when I go to tech events, when I just talk off the top of my head about like the current times in tech, about anything, I go right to this book. Like this book is wonderful. It explains everything. Like and it does it, in a way where I have very intelligent things to say about the current times, which are really wild, wild, crazy times where you can get lost in the, what's the word, in like the news or the scare reports or like, oh, like this happened today. AI is evil or AI is good. It's going to save humanity. You can get very easily wrapped up in scare stories and fluff pieces, just in what, people who aren't technical experts have to say about AI. So Chip Huyen is your person that you should follow if you want to speak intelligently on AI. Forget about the gurus, forget about the news reports. Chip Huyen is a computer scientist herself, a real computer scientist. She came out of the Stanford. Let's take a look at her. Let's take a look at her personal website, huenchip.com. So she came out of a university, as far as I understand. Yeah, Stanford. So Stanford is a legendary world-class school. Um, this isn't her first rodeo when it comes to writing books. She's written other books designing machine learning systems. She's worked at uh, NVIDIA um, and Netflix. She's an entrepreneur that's done startups as well. So this is your guiding force through the fog of AI. Um, if you want to have like intelligent thoughts about AI, follow Chip Huyen, read her book. This is the way to go. All right, so that's why I'm coming back to this series. Let's take a look at when the last time I published a video in this series was. So I'm gonna flip over to my channel here. Oh, we're getting to 1400. Thanks so much, everyone. It really does help. Subscribing, seeing that number goes up. Um, it's like it keeps me going, right? It's like if I well, but I'm catching up. I'm at 977, so don't let me eclipse this number here. But yeah, it keeps me going for sure to see the numbers going up on this channel, feeling like I'm really doing something. I have said in the past this channel's really just kind of for me to motivate myself studying, but I am kind of looking for um, reevaluating that because like, what's the point of I'm just kind of realizing, especially in this day and age with like the fog of AI and everything like that, like, and especially because the thing is like the other thing I'm struggling with is like, okay, like I could get a CCIE that probably would be pretty valuable to me. So there's an account that I've mentioned many times before, Jeremiah Wolf. He's kind of a somebody I respect and admire online. So he did the and this is a survivorship bias guy. So when you hear about entrepreneurs, you don't hear about people like Jeremiah Wolf. Why? Because they weren't the 0.01% of people that became successful using a model that has like little to no chance of success. He had an 11-year gap on his resume because he tried to be an entrepreneur and failed, right? And that's going to be a lot of people's story if they try to be an entrepreneur. So what did he do? He you know worked towards his major career goal, which was to become an expert in network engineering. He passed the CCIE exam and he got a job. So I am raising my glass to him right now. That is also a career goal for me. So we can see the results of doing that. He is, happily employed. He has shut his channel down, which I totally understand. You just don't want to take any risks when it comes to um, employer confidentiality. You're working with sensitive, you know, data with your employer. Even mentioning who you work for could potentially be, if you're especially if you're working in kind of because a lot of jobs right now, if you go to job boards, there's a lot of jobs out there that require like a security clearance and are like one of the fastest growing fields is like cybersecurity. So like, yeah, if you're working a cybersecurity job, especially like a defensive cybersecurity job, um, you don't want to be an attack vector. Yeah. So anyway, this is an example of somebody who, um, did it right, got the CCIE, happily employed. Financial situation's looking good, probably. Um, so a lot of kudos to this person, but uh, I don't know. I feel like there's other directions to go now, and we'll it might be a few years before we kind of hear the final verdict from this person as to how lucrative their path was in getting that CCIE. But I will say I'm 99% confident that if they came back in 5, 10 years, made another video, it would be like, you know, something to the effect of I have all this work experience and it worked out for me perfectly. So I'm like 90% or higher certain that like getting those skills, becoming an expert, because not everyone can do that, right? It's so rare that somebody would actually be able to do that. Like I didn't do it. Like he did it, right? So yeah, but basically the reason I'm bringing this up is he deleted all his videos. He had some of the best content online when it came to CCIE. He break down the costs, he break down the learning material, but he took all of that down because he was concerned about his employer confidentiality, rightfully so. So, I could come in and fill in that gap and keep working for my CCIE and kind of fill the void he left behind. Looks like he's got a lot of pictures of his son up there. So I can fill in that gap that of the material he took down that was related to the CCIE and possibly even get it myself during that. So it's just part of the thought process of like, what do I do with this channel, and why am I just doing it for myself? I kind of want to. I kind of thinking I might want to get away from that and start making content that's valuable for everyone, including myself. Okay, so the other thing I want to show is I have a playlist on, and this is going to serve as kind of a check-in video because the last time I made a video was 2 weeks ago. Before that, 3 weeks, a month. So I really haven't been making any videos. So I just kind of want to do some housekeeping, check-in sort of stuff. Um, the other thing I did recently, and I've talked quite a bit about my home setup in in this playlist here, and you can see just how wild I look. I'm a musician and juggler, where music was my first passion, and juggling is my main hobby. So I'm quite a eccentric looking fellow. Um, quite and if you want proof that I'm in IT and legit in IT, look how fat I am. But anyways, so I go through my keyboards, I go through my headphones, essential things that you need. You need a comfortable keyboard to type on all day. You need a reliable. I kind of talk about how my favorite gear to use is uh, cheap. You know, it's the kind of gear that like you would almost give to kids and the kid would like bang in a tantrum or throw across the room and it would survive. Like I don't like the kind of gear that's like the ASMR like clackety like and I tried using that kind of gear and it just quits on you. It's just like it doesn't work, right? It's like it lasts for like a bit and you spill a drink on it and it's dead, right? It's like I need like my Logitech is like awesome. It's like $50, works really good. It just sometimes it lags a bit, but not all the time. So like it's and then my like construction set headphones, it's like I use a rugged cell phone or rugged phone, which is great. And then if I'm ever in a jam, I have like a billy club on me. So that's the kind of gear I like to use. I'm just talking about this because the other kind of big update in my home office setup is I set up a second monitor. So let me switch over to that second monitor now. Okay, so now you can see what's on my second monitor. So I have another dedicated monitor that's set up vertical. So I have the monitor turned on its side, and then I see it's thin from side to side, but it's still quite thick from side to side. It's still, I just have a very nice monitor. Like I have very nice sets of like unused monitors sitting around here. So I've got 13 and a half inches from one side to the other, but then from top to bottom, I've got 24 inches. So 13 by 24 in the way I have it. Now I could have it 24 by 13, but it wouldn't fit on my desk as neatly. And then, you know, I'm using this as a dedicated monitor for coding projects. I'm just leaving this up all the time. And the idea is when I want to code, all I do is switch my mouse over to the other monitor and code. It's as simple as that. I recommend everyone have a setup like this where you have your code up on your on your computer all day, every day, and that way there's no inertia. Like otherwise, I'd have to be like, oh, it's time to code now. Click, switch over, or window management. Now I don't have the other windows up. Now I have, you know, it's like it should just be there ready to go and nothing holding you back. So especially in the days today of vibe coding where it's like, oh, do you want to continue? Oh, it's been working for a while, click continue, which is very necessary if you're using credits, right? Because you don't want it to just burn through all your credits and not get anywhere. Um, so so you need to have you don't want to switch windows every time the you know AI coding tools pause and say, you know, would you like to continue? Like for it says here, so like Copilot has been oh, oh oh wait, can I'm confused. Um oh, it looks like there's an issue with me. Oh, okay. Now you can see. Okay. So it says here, yeah, because I'm using that 12 by 24 arrangement. What you see here in the screen that I'm sharing is not what I see. I see text above and below this little snippet that you see there, but that's fine. It works. So it says Copilot has been working on this problem for a while. If you can continue, it can continue to iterate, or you can send a new message to refine your prompt. So let's actually configure the max quest. So let's configure this to like the max. Let's try setting it to 0. Okay, so that turned it brown. Brown is usually not the right color, especially when you're cooking. And I guess this is a form of cooking. So let's set it to 999. It was at 24 before. Let's set it back to 20, or was that 25 before? Let's set it back to 25. Okay, now it's no longer brown, which is usually a good sign when it comes to things like preparing a meal. Um, Not necessarily in every aspect of life. Is it a good is it a good sign if things are no longer brown? But typically, when you're doing something similar to like cooking or like, for example, if you're like putting makeup on, or well, I don't know, brown's fine. Let's hear it for brown. Everyone, let's just take a moment, give a round of applause for the color brown. Okay, so 25, 25. Well, let's just try 26. Okay, so it turns brown at 26. I think 25 is the maximum number you can have. Oh, one turns it brown too. Why is it turning brown? I feel like it shouldn't be brown. There's so many parts in my life where it's like, wait a minute. I thought my kitchen was clean, but there's a lot of like excess brown. Okay, so let's see here. Let's go to ChatGPT. We'll just go to auto and we'll say like, why is this? So what's the max setting I can put here? Why does it turn brown? Why does it turn? Why is there a brown line when I change it from 25 to 76? Is it because 26 is an invalid setting or some other reason? Oh, and this is where, oh man, it's so hard. It's so hard to properly do stuff. But what I can do is add another display capture, and that display capture can be on my second screen there. And now what I can do is have the main page and then select the other one, which proves to be quite difficult to do. Oh, this is beautiful. Okay, yeah, this is great. This is great. So now you see what I see exactly, pretty much. Um, yeah, so this is like exactly what I see, and then I could put like something else. So yeah, this is my monitor setup. I have this main one here, and then I have this one there. So this will be good. And then I could even put like a picture of myself here and like a whiteboard down there for these videos. I think that would be pretty nice. Kind of hard to see, but um, all right. So now you can see everything I see. So what is the max setting I can put here? Why is there a brown line when I change it from 25 to 26? Is it because 26 isn't valid, or for some other reason? All right, so it's gonna decide how long to think about that for. It looks like it doesn't have to think about that very much. So there isn't a hard maximum. Safe range is 1 to 25. Anything above 25 isn't supported. But the thing is, it turns brown when I go to 1 as well. Oh, outside the maximum? Yeah, pull up the. Yes, please pull up the official Copilot schema for that setting. Yes. Okay. And you might be curious at this point, what is all this? Like, I got a lot going on here, right? Um, yeah, I can be open and honest about that. I'm not doing anything like for a job or anything like that. So I'm the proud owner as of last night of www.grandposh.com. And this cost me $10, right? So this was a good purchase. It cost me $10 for the year, and it's going to auto renew. And I recently did buy simpleharmonymaker.com. Um, and I have like yeah, so like I have like free trial. Like I gotta rewrite this. I'll just give this away for free to people. I'm not gonna make any money from this. Um, but yeah, so I did recently um, uh, buy another domain. I'm not going to auto renew this domain. After a year's up, I'm going to let this expire. I'm not going to sink any more money into this project. Um, what I'm working on is the A2A protocol. So let me look that up. So that's kind of a unique moment right now in history. Let me do something. Let me search something called the early internet. And the thing is, and it's not the early internet. It's the early web. Yeah. So because there's a distinction between the two, right? So like the internet is the routers and switches, the BGP protocol, the wires, all that. The web is the things like web pages, right? It's like the things that are on the internet. So it's like what the internet is set up to enable people to do. So like the early version of the web was like pamphlets or like look at an image like Captain Janeway from Voyager in a uh, bit of a different context than on a starship. Um, so like it was designed to be static, right? So you like access the website and you view the content. Then we had so that was Web 1.0, and there were some famous sites from that era that might be LinkedIn, might be there were some famous sites from that era. Uh, uh, well, huh. Well, I mean, here's all the famous sites from that era, right? Like, there's some old sites that are still around today. Wired.com, IBM corporate site. Looks like corporate sites for all the big businesses that were doing internet stuff. Um, like the like pizza net. So like nowadays we just take it for granted you can order a pizza offline, but like you know back in the day, like that was a revolutionary new thing you could do. So there was like the original site that allowed you to do that. So that's the the Snopes is like an original one. So that's the whitehouse.gov is original one. Whitehouse.com is also an original one. But anyways, there's so that's 1.0, right? 1.2 is an interactive web. So that's like social media. That's like rather than just going and seeing, like a website by a university to provide information on this. It was like you would go to uh, communicate, to like write a message to friends. You'd go to like interact, to like maybe play a game or like do something interactive. So what is web 3? Well, web 3 is kind of, already, Web 3 is a proposed chapter of the internet built on blockchain. No, that's not what Web 3 is going to be. Web 3 is going to be a meta internet for AI agents. That's going to be the true Web 3. So what I'm doing is setting up a personal page under my domain, that's going to set up an agent to represent myself on the internet, and it's going to use the agent-to-agent protocol. So, because we're in an early age where Web3 isn't even defined properly, it's like some, crypto thing, right? It's like, no, Web3 is going to be a meta internet designed for machine-to-machine communication. That's what Web3 is going to be, starting next year, and that's what it's going to continue to be. Like right now, just the crypto stuff is Web2. So there's a unique opportunity for arbitrage right now, where you can be one of the early pages in the true Web3 space, right? Um, so like Web3 will have like crypto and stuff like that on it, but it won't be like the current, like like if you search, like if you Google Web3, it's Web2. Web3 is Web2. Web3 is going to be all about machine-to-machine communication and AI agents. Like this version of Web3 was started before like the release of. This was probably started before. Um, yeah, so it was founded in 2016. So this version of Web3 was created before we even had transformer technology before we had ChatGPT 1. So this is Web 2, not Web 3. All right. So that's what I'm doing here, is I'm trying to create an early page on the Web3, the true Web 3. All right, and there's no I can be totally transparent about that. I can show the code I'm using and all that. Like it doesn't matter. It's not for a job. It's just there's not much anyone can do. I mean, you probably screw with me and take it over and say I suck or something like that. But if you're that motivated to do something like that, like, it's not worth your while, right? Like no matter how like angry you might be at me for whatever reason. I'm not talking to anyone specific, but it's like, yeah, this is fine to show and I showed Jeremiah Wolf's page. If I did have a job, I'd probably, I'd probably do something similar to what Jeremiah Wolf did. Probably leave up some of my older videos, like the JNCIE series. But anyway, let's see how long I'm into the video. Oh man, I'm already half an hour in and I haven't done what I wanted to do. Okay, yeah. So what I want to do is read the book. So let's do Web 3.0, or so not Web 3.0. Let's put on um, some Brain FM for reading, for learning. Okay, and then I'm gonna continue reading this book. All right, so combining retrieval algorithms. Given the distinct advantages, sorry, I have this thing where I have to gag a lot. Like, all right, all right, continuing on. So, and it's 9 a.m. That's fine. All right, so combining retrieval algorithms. Given the distinct advantages of different retrieval algorithms, a production retrieval system typically combines several approaches. Combining term-based retrieval and embedding-based retrieval is called hybrid search. Different algorithms can be used in sequence. First, a cheap, less precise retriever, such as a term-based system, fetches candidates. Then a more precise but more expensive mechanism, such as k-nearest neighbors, finds the best of these candidates. The second step is also called re-ranking. For example, given the term transformer, you can fetch all documents that contain the word transformer regardless of whether they are about the electric device, the neural architecture, or the movie Transformers by Michael Bay. You can use vector search to find among these documents those that are actually related to your transformer query. As another example, consider the query, who's responsible for the most sales to X? First, you might fetch all documents associated with X using the keyword X. Then you use vector search to retrieve the context associated with who's responsible for the most sales. Different algorithms can also be used in parallel as an ensemble. Remember that a retriever works by ranking documents by their relevance scores to the query. You can use multiple retrievers to fetch candidates at the same time. Then combine these different rankings together to generate a final ranking. An algorithm for combining different rankings is called reciprocal rank fusion, RRF. Uh, and I typically don't read the citations. It is important to note when these algorithms were created. This was created way back in 2009. And if these names, it is because the thing is, like, a lot of people have heard of like Andrew Huberman, right? Like these people are you're not gonna know who these people are, and you should know who these people are if you're like because these are the people doing the work, right? They're not just like influencers, so you should be able to recognize some of these names, and more importantly, you should have a sense of you. I mean, at the very least, you should know where to go to see uh, the actual firsthand papers and not have to like take someone's word for it, right? So like in this case, this is on a university website. All right, get rid of that. All right, so it assigns each document a score based on its ranking by a retriever. Intuitively, if it ranks first, its score is 1 over 1, so 1 divided by 1 equals 1. Yep, if it ranks second, the score is 1 over 2, which equals 1 half. So the score is a fraction. The higher it ranks, the higher its score. A document's final score is the sum of its scores with respect to all retrievers. If a document is ranked first by one retriever and second by another retriever, its score is 1 plus 0.5 equals 1.5. This example is an oversimplification of RRF, but it shows the basics. The actual formula for a document D is more complicated as follows. Score D equals a summation of n through I equals 1. Um, uh, so so here's I. So um, I think that's how you say it, a summation of n through I equals 1. And then 1 over k plus r subscript. Let's actually okay. What I want you to okay, we'll go to the AI for this. So and we'll use the auto thinker. Okay, and we'll say All right, what I want you to do with that equation you see in the screenshot is I want you to unpack it to plain English. So, like, for example, my sense of it is like um, score D equals a summation of n through I equals 1, so on and so forth. But, like, I what I want to do is like check my knowledge and my intuition about like how this would unpack into plain English. So I want you to like do it for me and see how close I was. And I have a mega system prompt set up that like really changes how it responds. So it's going to okay, this is actually pretty good. So okay, so this is the score. So putting it all together, uh so the score of D is computed by looping through each item from 1 up to n. Okay. So I got that wrong. Uh, okay. So it's not a summation, it's like a loop. Wait, is it not a summation and a loop instead, or is it a summation? Summation. Like for example, like would the answer, let's say you have n and you have I equals 1 and you have n equals 3. Would the answer be 1 plus 2 plus 3 equals 5? Or sorry, equals 6. That equals 6. Or would the answer be any given answer for any given value of n? So for example, if n equals 3, would the answer be 3? Or would the answer be the summation of 1 through 3? Yeah. Okay. So yeah, it is. Okay. Got it. Okay. Got it. Okay. Okay, so that symbol means the result of a loop from one number to another. Yeah. Okay. And the number you start with, that's the number on the bottom? Okay. That's where it's kind of unintuitive for me because I think the number you start with is on the top for some reason. But this is why math is hard, is because like it seems like a lot of it's like a little bit arbitrary, so people like have trouble like catching on to certain conventions because it's just like, oh, I would have listed it this way or that way. But you're not a famous mathematician, so you don't get to decide. All right. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I think I'm catching on now. So let's say that the bottom number were bigger than the top number. So let's say that the bottom number were 5 and the top number were 1. Does that mean that it would be, like, for example, Would it be subtracting? Oh. Oh, okay. No, okay. How do you run it backwards? Oh. How do you run it? Oh, okay. Oh, I see, I see. So that summation, summation, that symbol just tells you what numbers you're running, but whether you're running it forward or backwards, you do as the next part of the equation, not as part of that summation symbol, right? Yeah, okay. Got it. Start value on the bottom and value on the top. Okay. Got it. Okay, got it. So this is this like, can you classify this in terms of like continuous or discrete mathematics or like some broader category? Or is this symbol relevant in like every aspect of mathematics? Yeah. Oh, it's a discrete operator. Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, but it applies to. Oh man. Okay. All right. So you don't have to feed just like regular whole numbers or like numbers to it. You can feed sums, integrals, series, or products to it as well. Okay, but it is a discrete mathematics. Yeah, show me some side by side examples, and yeah, so I can see the exact parallels, and kind of remind me, a bit what's the difference between discrete and continuous mathematics. Okay, so discrete. Okay, continuous integral. Okay, area under the curve. I'm a little lost. I'm a little lost. Am I? I'm a little lost. I'm a little lost. Am I kind of just like injecting my own preconceived notions of this and like steering us off course? Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to build number intuition. Yeah, I'm trying to build like number intuition and intuition for mathematics in general. So like if you're dealing with like continuous, you're gonna deal with like infinity a lot more, right? Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah, so with continuous mathematics, it means that there's no end, it's just continuous. So you're working with unbroken intervals of real numbers rather than finite countable steps. So we're working with finite countable steps here from 1 to any number n. N is the number of ranked lists. Each ranked list is produced by a retriever. And then we're doing the function Ri of d, which is the rank of the document by the retriever I. And then k is a constant to avoid division by 0 and to control the influence of lower ranked documents. A typical value for k is 60. All right, I'm satisfied with that. Let me pause it and come back. All right, I'm back. So let's see here. Um, yeah, continuing on. Retrieval optimization. Depending on the task, certain tactics can increase the chance of relevant documents being fetched. Four tactics discussed here are chunking strategy, re-ranking, query rewriting, and context retrieval. Chunking strategy, how your data should be indexed, depends on how you intend to retrieve it later. The last section covered different retrieval algorithms and their respective indexing strategies. Therefore, the discussion was based on the assumption that documents have already been split into manageable chunks. In this section, I'll cover different chunking strategies. This is an important consideration because the chunking strategy you use can significantly impact the performance of your retrieval system. The simplest strategy is to chunk documents into chunks of equal length based on a certain unit. Common units are characters, words, sentences, and paragraphs. For example, you can split each document into chunks of, sorry, and I'm having the thing where I feel like I have to throw up. I'm having a lot of nausea. 2,048 characters or 512 words. You can also split each document so that each chunk can contain a fixed number of sentences, such as 20 sentences, or paragraphs, such as each paragraph is its own chunk. You can also split documents recursively using increasingly smaller units until each chunk fits within your maximum chunk size. For example, you can start by splitting a document into sections. If a section is too long, split it into paragraphs. If a paragraph is too long, split it into sentences. This reduces the chance of related texts being arbitrarily broken off. Specific documents might also support creative chunking strategies. For example, there are splitters developed especially for different programming languages. Q&A documents can be split by question or answer pair, where each pair makes up a chunk. Chinese texts might need to be split differently from English texts. When a document is split into chunks without overlap, the chunks might be cut off in the middle of important context, leading to the loss of critical information. Consider the context: I left my wife a note. If it's split into I left my wife and a note, neither of these, um, hold on, this is not going well for me. Neither of these two chunks conveys the key information of the original text. Overlapping ensures that important boundary information is included in at least one chunk. If you set the chunk size to be 2048 characters, you can perhaps set the overlapping Size to be 20 characters. I'm gonna pause it and like take a shower or something and be back. All right, welcome back. Let's keep going on this book. And I will say, I'm kind of wondering if this is the right thing for me to do because I was, as I mentioned before, working on the code. Yeah, so here we go. So, like, should I be doing that? I haven't even pushed it yet. Okay, so let's see here. Local installs, builds, full workspace install. Okay, rollback. Okay. Let me say, I like, I like what we have so far. Let's commit and push. Okay. So I'm gonna get that up in my repo. All right, cool. That's the bare minimum. Oh, yep. Oh, and I actually don't like what we have so far. It looks like there's problems. Oh, there's a lot of problems. All right, well, let's keep reading. All right, there we go. So the chunk size shouldn't exceed the maximum context length of the generative model. For the embedding based approach, the chunk size also shouldn't exceed the embedded model's context limit. You can also chunk documents using tokens determined by the generative model's tokenizer as a unit. Let's say that you want to use Llama 3 as your generative model. You then first tokenize documents using Llama 3's tokenizer. You can then split documents using Llama. Oh, yeah. You can then split documents into chunks using tokens as the boundaries. Chunking by tokens makes it easier to work with downstream models. However, your however, the downside of this approach is that if you want to switch to another generative model with a different tokenizer, you'd need to re-index your data. So regardless of which strategy you choose, chunk sizes matter. A smaller chunk size allows for more diverse information. Smaller chunks mean that you can fit more chunks into the model's context. If you have the chunk size, you can fit twice as many chunks. More chunks can provide a model with a wider range of information, which can enable the model to produce a better answer. Small chunk sizes, however, can cause the loss of important information. Imagine a document that contains important information about the topic X throughout the document, but X is only mentioned in the first half. If you split this document into two chunks, the second half of the document might not be retrieved, and the model won't be able to use its information. Smaller chunk sizes can also increase computational overhead. This is especially an issue for embedding-based retrieval. Having the chunk size means that you have twice as many chunks to index and twice as many embedding vectors to generate and store. Your vector search space will be twice as big, which can reduce the query speed. There is no universal best chunk size or overlap size. You have to experiment to find what works best for you. Re-ranking. The original document rankings generated by the retriever can be further re-ranked to be more accurate. Re-ranking is especially useful when you need to reduce the number of retrieved documents, either to fit them into your model's context or to reduce the number of input tokens. One common pattern for re-ranking is discussed in combining retrieval algorithms, which is a paper. Oh, which is another part of the book. which flipped me over to another part of the book, and I lost my spot. Ah, here it is. A cheap but less precise retriever fetches candidates, and then a more precise but more expensive mechanism re-ranks these candidates. Documents can also be re-ranked based on time, giving higher weight to more recent data. This is useful for time-sensitive applications such as news aggregation, chat with your emails, for example, a chatbot that can answer questions about your emails, or stock market analysis. Context re-ranking differs from traditional search re-ranking in that the exact position of items is less critical. In search, the rank, for example, first or fifth, is crucial. In context re-ranking, the order of documents still matters because it affects how well a model can process them. Models might better understand documents at the beginning and end of the context, as discussed in context length and context efficiency. However, as long as a document is included, the impact of its order is less significant compared to search re-ranking. Okay, okay. Let me advance the bookmark. Sorry, I'm just not sure how much I'm getting out of this, to be honest. It's just too far. Like, I want something either that I can talk about like at a networking event, or that I can actually like put into effect and like benefit from immediately. Like, for example, the A to A protocol. So like it's this is kind of like in this weird like no man's zone for me, where like it's too technical to talk about like at a event, but it's not technical enough to like directly benefit from. Well, anyway, let me do some more with yeah, okay. Well, let me demo actually the super prompt. So this is the best way to prompt an LLM. This is what I'm gonna do. Let's see here. Oops. Uh, all right, so this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna demo the super prompt. The super prompt is: you are an expert prompt engineer. Analyze and optimize the following ChatGPT prompt designed to blank, insert desired outcome. Ask any questions, and then do put in your version of the prompt. So let me do that. So I'm going to say, you are an expert prompt engineer. I'm going to say, and let's do this in a new thread. Okay. And then we're going to do, okay, you are an expert prompt engineer. Analyze and optimize the following GPT-5 um, uh, uh, co-pilot prompt designed in VS Code, designed to fix all of the problems in the code repository. Ask any questions. Okay, and then the prompt is going to be fix all of the problems in this code repository repo. We'll just say repo. Okay. Okay, and while that's thinking, let me read some more. So, query rewriting. Query rewriting is also known as query reformulation, query normalization, and sometimes query expansion. Oops, and let me put on my, I just want to know when the hour is up. So, there we go. Um, yeah. Consider the following conversation. User, when was the last John Doe, uh, the last time John Doe bought something from us? AI, John last bought a Fruity Fedora hat from us 2 weeks ago on January 3rd, 2030. How about Emily Dale? And let me take a quick aside because this will help a lot of my users, or not my users, my well, yeah, the users of my YouTube channel. Um, so to all you beautiful people out there that have ADHD, which I know there are a lot of you, I am one of you. Um, Definitely pick up the time timer. It's pretty cheap. It's like $30. Get a big one because you don't want to get too lost amongst clutter or like hard to see. So you don't need the biggest one they have, but you definitely want one that's not going to just like get you know lost out of your vision. Um, I mean, it's probably fine if you don't have a lot of space to work with. Like, it's probably better to have a smaller one than not one at all. But I'm super happy with the one I have. I have the just the basic time timer. I don't have the time timer max. I have the regular generic one. So let's see. Yeah, I have the time timer original. So the time timer original a little bit up there, $40. You're better to have one than not. So if that's too high of a price, go ahead and get a smaller one. Um, but yeah, it does exactly what it says. It's a time timer. So like it helps. Like one of the big problems of ADHD is time blindness. Like people with ADHD struggle to know more than other people how long exactly is an hour. So that's why like um, ADHD people like are late to things or like miss deadlines just because they didn't realize that, oh crap, like the deadline's in an hour. I'm like, that's not enough time for me to do everything I needed to do. Like I thought I would only need an hour, but I need 2 hours or 3 hours. It's hard to judge. Um, and a lot of ADHD people have trouble managing their time effectively as well because they'll be like, oh shoot, like I need an hour for this. When you like a great example is like housekeeping. Like I think there's a lot of ADHD people that like struggle with housekeeping. It's like, oh man, it's gonna take me an hour to do the dishes. So it's just like they never find a time where they can spend an hour doing the dishes. But if they would actually properly know how much time things take and have a sense of how much time is time, they would know that doing the dishes takes like 5 to 10 minutes. And they could literally just do it like anytime they want. They could even like, eat a little bit faster and do the dishes and that whole process of like eating could take less time and you've eaten and you've done the dishes. So like you could even do like a mindful eating practice, right? Where like, instead of spending an hour eating and overeating, you spend like 15 minutes eating a healthy amount and 15 minutes cleaning up, and now you spent half the amount of time you would have otherwise on the activity of eating, and you ate healthier, you ate the right amounts, and you did the dishes. So like the time timer can that's pretty advanced. That's getting pretty advanced, but I've this thing has like changed my life. I'm so much better with my time now. So yeah, I recommend that. I wonder if I could do a referral link. Can I? I should ask the. Well, anyway, I'm getting distracted. Let's see here. Oh yeah, reading. Let's keep doing the reading. The last question, how about Emily Doe, is ambiguous without context. If you use this query verbatim to retrieve documents, you'll likely get irrelevant results. You need to rewrite this query to reflect what the user is actually asking. The new query should make sense on its own. In this case, the query should be rewritten to when was the last time Emily Doe bought something from us? While I put query rewriting in RAG, query rewriting isn't unique to RAG. In traditional search engines, query rewriting is often done using heuristics. In AI applications, query rewriting can also be done using other AI models, using a prompt similar to follow. Given the following conversation, rewrite the last user input to reflect what the user is actually asking. Oh, all right, I'm back. So I'm gonna end this video. I just like it's as I said, this book is kind of putting me in a bit of a zone where I kind of don't want to be in, where it's too technical to like talk about at most like networking events and stuff, but it's not technical enough to do something really meaningful like configure an early page on the A2A protocol web. So I'm just going to close it out to this context retrieval section, um, and then move on to something more beneficial to me. And that doesn't mean I'll stop making videos, but I'm just going to move away from this book and make uh, either different kinds of videos or just uh, still kind of be not making so many videos. So query rewriting can also be done using other AI models. Using a prompt similar to given the following conversation, rewrite the last user input to reflect what the user is actually asking. Figure 6-4 shows how ChatGPT rewrote the query using this prompt. Given the following conversation, rewrite the last user input to reflect what the user is actually asking. User, when was the last time John Doe brought up something from us? AI, John last brought a fruity fedora hat from us 2 weeks ago on January 3rd, 2023. How about Emily Doe? So when was the last time Emily Doe bought something from us? Figure 6-4. You can use other generative models to rewrite queries. So query rewriting can get complicated, especially if you need to do identity resolution or incorporate other knowledge. For example, if the user asks, how about his wife? You will first need to query your database to find out who his wife is. If you don't have this information, the rewriting model should acknowledge that this query isn't solvable instead of hallucinating a name, leading to a wrong answer. So that's going to be it for this series, probably for a while, actually, because I just need to change my focus here. And unfortunately, a lot of what I'll be making videos probably isn't the smartest thing for me to do for the next bit. Um, as we saw, Jeremiah Wolf, somebody I respect and admire on YouTube, deleted his whole channel recently. Um, hopefully I won't have to do that. I think all my content from years ago when I did the JNCIE, I'd be fine to just leave up. And really like yeah, I should be able to make like how this channel should be. Um, I don't think I can't foresee me having to delete it. All right, so that's it. See you in the next one, and I think there will be a next one for sure.